The Pittsburgh metro area is a mid-sized region with a population of over 2 million residents. This barely cracks the top 30 of most populous U.S. cities. But within the Pittsburgh region, there are 7 counties, over 100 school districts, over 400 municipalities, and thousands of neighborhoods, each with their own attributes. This makes Pittsburgh one of the most complex real estate markets in the country. So let's jump into today's video where I'm going to recommend places you should consider moving to based on 5 different categories. I'm going to talk about where I would personally move to. If you have kids and you're concerned about schools, I'll go through places you should consider there. If you're looking for walkability, I'll recommend some places with that in mind. And finally, I will share some hidden gems that very few people know about. I am Mark McClinchie, and I'm a full-time real estate agent here in the Pittsburgh area. I specialize with people that are moving from out of state or out of area to Pittsburgh for the first time. I help them understand the neighborhoods and communities that are going to be a best fit for their lifestyle and their budget. So let's start with where I would personally move to if I were moving to Pittsburgh in 2026. So if I'm deciding on a place to move within the Pittsburgh region, I'm thinking about a lot of factors. I'm thinking about where I need to work, where my wife needs to work, and what kind of commutes we might have. I'm thinking about my kids and the school systems. I'm thinking about the things we like to do. We love to go downtown to sporting events, to cultural events. I'm also looking for a neighborhood vibe. You know, what type of neighbors are there? What kind of yard sizes? What type of architecture do those homes have? So there's a lot of factors that go into it. So in my particular situation, we're almost empty nesters. Our youngest child is a senior in high school, and my wife works from home. As a real estate agent, I work throughout the region, not only in Allegheny County, but surrounding counties as well. So something central is really important to me. And we definitely love spending time going for walks. We have 2 dogs, and being able to walk in the neighborhood or maybe go to a local coffee shop is really important to us as well. I also have to bring in my past experience living in many different parts within the region. I grew up in the North Hills. I've also lived in the eastern suburbs. I've also lived within the city limits of Pittsburgh, and I currently live in the South Hills in Mount Lebanon. So if I'm making a choice based on some of those factors, every single time I'm going to choose Mount Lebanon. I absolutely love living here, and here's some of the reasons why. We love Mount Lebanon for its walkability. You can stroll through the neighborhood, you can see lots of your neighbors and run into friends, and most importantly, you can get close to the business district. So we only live about a 10-minute walk from uptown, where there's cafes, restaurants, go to the farmer's market. We absolutely love the proximity to having a retail space that we can walk to. Another reason we love Mount Lebanon is the school system. As I mentioned before, we have 4 kids. 3 of them have already graduated from Mount Lebanon, and our kids have had amazing experiences in this district. So they've had amazing teachers, they've had awesome activities and sports, they've met lifelong friends. The school system has been extremely supportive to each of our kids who have different needs, and we couldn't be happier with our experience in Mount Lebanon schools. One great aspect of Mount Lebanon is the parks and recreational opportunities that they have just within the township itself. So you've got the Mount Lebanon Rec Center, which has ice skating rinks. It's got a pool. There's tennis courts nearby. There's tons of pickleball courts all over the community. You've got a golf course, which I like to play. It's just a 9-hole course, but it's perfect. You've got several parks with hiking trails or walking trails. We do those all the time with our dogs. So the recreational opportunities just within Mount Lebanon are outstanding. And the last thing I'll mention about why we love Mount Lebanon is just how accessible it is. I think it has a reputation for being maybe super affluent and maybe high-end homes, and there are some of those, but you'd be surprised at how affordable Mount Lebanon can be. Just moved a client in last week for under $300,000 in a wonderful home, wonderful neighborhood. So Mount Lebanon does have a wide range of homes at varying price levels, so I think that makes it very accessible on a lot of budgets. And next, I'll discuss where you should consider moving if schools are your top priority. So if you're thinking about a move to the Pittsburgh region and you have kids or will have kids, and where you move is really important with the quality of schools in that area. So here's some recommendations to consider. First off, I want to let you know that before I became a real estate agent, I was a school administrator. I had been a school principal for over 15 years. I was a teacher for 5 years before that. And so I've had the opportunity to work as a principal and administrator within the Pittsburgh region. I've visited plenty of school districts throughout the area. I also have a vast network of friends and colleagues that are currently in those districts. So I bring a lot of experience to school districts with my former job and my former career. So there's most school districts, there's very few people that I don't know there or know something about their curriculum or have some inside knowledge on many of the school districts in the region. In addition, my own children have attended 3 different school districts. So if we moved to a few different places, I've had personal experience as a parent in several school districts. One of the challenges of picking a place to live with respect to a school district is just getting quality information. There's plenty of rankings out there. Most of the real estate sites like Zillow and stuff have school grades that are attached to each house and what the grade is for that school. I've found that those grades aren't super valuable. They're simply based on standardized test scores. And your kid certainly is much more than a test score. So you're not always sure how to evaluate a school. You can go online and look at reputations, or you see comment sections, which are, pretty much overly negative. But I would be glad to share personal information with you about either my experiences or my knowledge of school districts. But for now, I'm gonna give you 3 recommendations to consider. One of the districts I'd like to recommend is the North Allegheny School District. It's located in the North Hills inside Allegheny County. It's made up of 4 municipalities: Franklin Park Borough, Marshall Township, McCandless Township, and Bradford Woods. I graduated from NA myself and had a great experience. So a few things that you should know about North Allegheny. It is the 2nd largest school district behind Pittsburgh Public Schools, that is. And so it's quite large. I believe it has over 8,500 students. It also has 12 schools that make up the NA school district, has tons of resources. One thing that I think is really important to know about North Allegheny is the taxes actually are kind of low as far as Allegheny County. Allegheny County sometimes gets a bad rap of having high taxes, but the North Allegheny school system, each of those 4 municipalities, do a great job of holding the line on property taxes, and I think it competes as best they can with school districts that are in Butler County. So North Allegheny has low taxes. You'll find a variety of price points. In McCandless, you're gonna find some homes in the lower price ranges, in the 3s and the 4s. Franklin Park and Marshall are a little bit higher. So there are a variety of price points that you can get into North Allegheny. And again, tons of inventory, such a large geographic area. If that's a school district you're interested in, you should have plenty of opportunities to find homes in that area. The next district I'm going to recommend is the Hampton Township School District. Also located in the North Hills, and it's just east of McCandless, which I mentioned with North Allegheny. The Route 8 corridor goes north and south, and Hampton is right over top of that. Hampton Township is a great school district, I think because of its size. Some of the big school districts, like North Allegheny, aren't for everybody. Sometimes they can get super competitive, and your class rank, if you got a 4.0, you might still be ranked 150th in the class. Whereas Hampton, it's a little smaller, it's mid-sized school district, about 4,000 students or so, but it has a great reputation, has really strong academics. That area generally is wonderful. You're close to North Park. You've got a lot of housing options. Housing prices, the median home price in Hampton is going to be a little bit lower than North Allegheny. So Hampton Township is a quality school district with lots of local amenities for that community. And the next school district I'd like to recommend is going to be in the South Hills, Upper St. Clair School District. So Upper St. Clair sits inside Allegheny County, and it's just below Mount Lebanon. Route 19 kind of goes through Upper St. Clair. Had lots of family members that have graduated from there or currently attend there. They've had great experiences. It's definitely, locally ranked super high. It's ranked across the state, wins all kinds of awards. But the one program that I think is most attractive about the Upper St. Clair School District is their International Baccalaureate program. There's only 2 high schools in the Pittsburgh area that have the IB program, which is an international recognized program that allows advanced standing, that when you take these courses, you can go to college. Most colleges recognize the IB diploma and any IB credits that you have to get advanced standing. But it's a very rigorous, very demanding program that a lot of people move to Upper St. Clair just for that IB program. Upper St. Clair is an affluent area, and so the tax base is super high. You've got great resources. Facilities are top-notch. They're always improving their schools. Some of their facilities are the best in the region. Upper St. Clair is an outstanding choice. And while I made 3 recommendations for school districts, I'll certainly take an opportunity to throw Mount Lebanon in that mix as well. I spoke about that earlier in the video and talked about my own children's experience in Mount Lebanon. So Mount Lebanon, also a top school district that you might want to consider. Now, let's say schools is not your #1 concern. You're looking for a community that has great walkability walkability. Let's talk about those places. So every week I get calls from people considering a move to the Pittsburgh area. And when we have a conversation, we start talking about some of their needs and what are they looking for. Absolutely the number one characteristic people are looking for that are moving to Pittsburgh is walkability. So it is very rare. I always tell people that it is hard to find, but if you're committed to it, we can definitely find you some walkable areas. Let's start with Regent Square. So Regent Square is a great little neighborhood just at the end of the East End in the city of Pittsburgh. It actually encompasses 4 municipalities. One of the, a lot of our areas in the Pittsburgh area, the municipality and the school district are kind of synonymous, or maybe the name of the neighborhood and the municipality have some overlap. But Regent Square is one of those unique places where it's actually 4 municipalities that come together. And part of it is the Regent Square neighborhood of the city of Pittsburgh, but it also includes Swissvale, it includes Edgewood, but not all of it, and not all of Swissvale either, and it includes parts of Wilkinsburg. So it's parts of Wilkinsburg, parts of Edgewood, parts of Swissvale, and the Regent Square neighborhood of the city of Pittsburgh. So it's all 4 of those municipalities, or parts of them, come together to form Regent Square, but it is a great little neighborhood highlighted by its greatest asset, which is Frick Park. Now this is considered Lower Frick Park. Upper Frick Park is more in the Squirrel Hill neighborhood, but Lower Frick Park has access to trails and tennis courts and ball fields and a big playground. And so people that live in Regent Square love to have access to Frick Park. There's also a small business district that's a couple blocks long, but there's cafes and restaurants and shops. And there's a real community vibe that people like in the Regent Square area. Tree-lined streets, nice sidewalks. Regent Square is definitely an extremely walkable area with recreational opportunities, retail opportunities, or just strolling through the neighborhood. So Regent Square, definitely a place to check out if you're interested in walkability. So if money is no object and you still want walkability, then look no further than Sewickley. Sewickley sits right on the Ohio River, northwest of downtown, and it's a wonderful community all centered around a vibrant business district. You'll find over 100 restaurants, cafes, shops, all locally owned. It's a great place to visit, but it's an even more amazing place to live. And it's no other experience in Pittsburgh is like it. The homes are gorgeous. It also has a really highly respected school district, Quaker Valley School District. You also have easy access to the airport, which is right over the river, super easy to get to. It's really something special to live in the Sewickley area. Another walkable community that you definitely want to put on your radar is the borough of Dormont. Dormont sits just past the city of Pittsburgh limits, the neighborhoods of Beechview and Brookline, and it is a great South Hills community, super affordable. You're going to find lower prices in Dormont than you will like in Mount Lebanon and other areas of the South Hills. But the feature that everybody loves about Dormont is the walkability. You've got business districts up and down the West Liberty Avenue corridor, as well as the Potomac Avenue corridor. You also have the light rail that goes through Dormont. You've got 3 stops in the borough of Dormont. You've got plenty of recreational opportunities in Dormont, including the Dormont Pool, which is the largest outdoor pool in Western Pennsylvania. Super popular amenity there. It's a very diverse area. You have people of all ages and backgrounds that choose to live in Dormont. Please check it out. And again, just want to throw Mount Lebanon in this list as well for walkability. Already spoke about it before, but definitely Mount Lebanon is a great walkable neighborhood to put on your list. So perhaps older homes are not your thing, and you're looking for newer homes or new construction. That's what I'll talk about next. So Pittsburgh, and specifically Allegheny County, is well established, been around for decades. Most of the growth in Allegheny County and the suburbs of the city of Pittsburgh have taken place in the 40s and 50s and 60s, maybe the outer Allegheny County area in the 70s and 80s, areas like North Allegheny or areas like Upper St. Clair. But again, most of those homes, like I said, are established communities. They have older homes and you've got old home problems. So perhaps you're looking for newer homes, new developments. Where do you find those? Well, you're probably gonna have to leave Allegheny County for the most part. So let me make some recommendations with newer homes or new construction communities that would be a good fit for you. So one area that immediately comes to mind is Adams Township. Adams Township is part of the Mars School District. So sometimes people don't actually refer to it as Adams Township. They just speak to the whole area as Mars. There actually is a small borough of Mars, but again, most people living in Adams Township just refer to it as Mars. But Mars, when I was a kid, was farmland, and now it is a bustling area that is in southern Butler County. So it's kind of part of like the extended North Hills, but phenomenal school district. You know, these are places that probably had a low tax base, you know, decades ago, but because of all the new construction and all the new developments over the last 20, 30 years, an area like Mars has outstanding school resources, outstanding facilities. Even the borough resource, Adams Township Recreation Building is outstanding. There's a lot of great amenities in Adams Township. So check out Adams Township for newer homes or new construction. They continue to build. There's plenty of areas that still are building up in the Adams Township area in Butler County. So just west of Adams Township is Cranberry Township. Now, Cranberry Township is a little more established. You're gonna find a variety of housing in Cranberry Township if you're looking for a townhome, for example, or a smaller ranch home, as well as larger estate homes. So Cranberry Township has a wide variety of housing options, and a lot of that has been built in the last 20 to 30 years, and plenty of new developments being built right now. Cranberry Township is part of the Seneca Valley School District, which has an outstanding reputation, so it's a great school system. Cranberry definitely is the heart of commerce up there. You've got all the big box stores, you got plenty of grocery stores and strip malls and lots of retail options. It does get a little crowded with traffic up there in the Cranberry corridor because it's growing so fast, as well as the 228 corridor does get a lot of traffic, but if you can avoid those rush hour times, it is super easy to get. The commute to Pittsburgh from Cranberry, actually, if you look on a map, it looks like it, you know, might be a little daunting, but it's all, as long as you don't have any traffic, which typically Parkway North does not have a lot of traffic, so that is a tip. So if you're looking for newer construction or new construction, check out Cranberry Township. In the last area I'll recommend for looking for newer homes and new construction is Peters Township. Peters Township is in Washington County, one of the northernmost municipalities in Washington County, just sits right across the Allegheny County line, but super popular area, has really grown dramatically in the last 20 to 30 years with lots of new developments, a lot of different options, and again, in terms of like townhomes or single family homes, but lots of big homes. The median price home in Peters Township is the highest in the entire Pittsburgh region. It is in the mid sevens. So not only is there a lot of new construction, but it's a lot of high-end new construction, big homes, 4 or 5 bedroom homes, a lot of like luxury builders and luxury homes being built in the Peters Township area. Great school system, growing very rapidly, has a nice tax base, resources are great, facilities are great. So Peters Township, definitely an area where you can find homes that are not as old as you'll find in Allegheny County. So if you're looking for something that maybe is easier on maintenance and is only 20, 30 years old or newer, definitely check out Peters Township. And now let's take a look at those hidden gem neighborhoods that very few people know about. So perhaps you're looking for a community that doesn't get a lot of attention. Perhaps, you know, you've looked on online forums, you've went on Google and you've looked everywhere and you're like, you know, you keep seeing the same communities over and over again. But I promise you, these 3 communities probably will not make those lists, partially because they're small. But if you have patience and maybe you get a little bit of luck, you definitely want to focus your attention on these neighborhoods that might be the best fit that you could possibly imagine. So number 1 is Ben Avon Heights. Ben Avon Heights is part of the Avonworth School District, sits just off of the Parkway North, right? Shannon Country Club is right there in Ben Avon Heights. There's less than 500 residents in Ben Avon Heights, but the architecture there and the homes are just beautiful. There's like nice rolling hills. It's a wonderful community with a wonderful housing inventory. It's been established for a long, long time, but it's part of a great school district. Super easy commute to downtown. But Ben Avon Heights is probably not on too many people's radar, but check out Ben Avon Heights because it is a hidden gem for sure. Another community that is near and dear to my heart is Bradford Woods. This is definitely a hidden gem. I grew up there, so I know all about Bradford Woods, and not many people do. When people say, where'd I grow up, and I mention Bradford Woods, even Pittsburghers are not entirely sure. It's very, very small. The number of homes there is in the couple hundreds, and I think it's only 1 square mile total area, but it is an idyllic community for sure. One where I grew up, you know, ice skating on the frozen pond and, you know, riding my bike around the neighborhood. And it continues to be that way. In fact, just this past year, I moved a client into Bradford Woods that was moving from Texas, and they absolutely loved it. I checked on them a few weeks back. and they love the neighborhood. They love the schools. Bradford Woods, as you may recall from earlier in the video, is part of the North Allegheny School District. And so a lot of people that move to Bradford Woods love the access to the North Allegheny schools. There is a local elementary that's part of NA. It's Bradford Woods Elementary, which is walkable for a lot of people. Finding a walkable elementary school is really hard to do in the Pittsburgh area. But Bradford Woods is a great little community, super walkable, lots of tree cover. In fact, there's a borough ordinance that you can only cut down so many trees. You have to leave so many trees on your lot. Most lots in Bradford Woods are at least a ½ acre or more. It's just a wonderful tree-covered community with lots of cool homes, and definitely check out Bradford Woods because not many people know about it. And my last recommendation for a hidden gem that you might not have heard about is the borough of Thornburg. Thornburg is west of the city of Pittsburgh and just after Crafton. It's a small little neighborhood, less than 500 residents. It's only about a ½ square mile, but tons of very unique and varied architecture, super walkable community, tight-knit place. It's part of the Montour School District, which is an award-winning district, does a lot of unique and innovative practices at Montour. But check out Thornburg if you're interested in a lot of the older homes that you might find in areas like Mount Lebanon, but you're looking for maybe a lower price point and you're looking for a different location. So just west of downtown, check out the area of Thornburg. So overall, we covered a dozen or more communities, but that is just the tip of the iceberg. I'm hoping this video really helped you out, whether you're looking for top tier schools or you're looking for new construction or walkability, or maybe you're looking for one of those hidden gems that I mentioned. But at the end of the day, give me a call. I'd be glad to learn exactly about what you need and help you make the relocation to the Pittsburgh area. Thanks, and see you in the next video.